Alright everyone, and we're back for the final part of this week's show and tell, covering Kumagoro's Snake deck, here playing against Filegot's winning 5-color Sliver deck. Let's get started. Kuma keeps a 1-land hand, hoping to draw into the second land, whereas Filegot has a quick start off a Savannah and a Mox Diamond. Goes ahead and pitches that Bajuka Bog because he knows it won't be relevant in this matchup because this is game 2 or 3, I believe. Game 2, actually. Both players were 2-0 at this point. Sinu Sliver beats in. And Darkheart Sliver here, it gives all Slivers the ability to sacrifice them to gain 3 life. It is a reference to Dark Heart of the Wood, a card from, I believe, The Dark, which allowed you to sacrifice a forest to gain 3 life. Kind of got overshadowed by Zuranorb, which came out shortly after the following year. And the pressure keeps up here. Coiling Oracle has already done some work, so we can chump it off, which he does. And now I normally consider these sort of 5-color Sliver decks to be pretty unstable on account of the mana. I'm not a big fan of them, but the Filegot made a pretty good calculation here that there were not going to be, when nobody can play more than 1 copy of Wasteland, what are they really going to do? So, anyways, Kuma takes a couple points to play that Breeding Pool untapped. And then he's going to be able to follow that up by Simic Charming the Darkheart Sliver. But Lotus Cobra quickly gets bolted. And Darkheart Sliver comes back. And Darkheart Sliver, as well as the Essence Sliver that you'll see later, make it extremely difficult to win the race that Kuma gets to where he's going to have to do. As you see here, he thinks that he's going to play something, and then he thinks better of it, correctly deciding to wait and just Mystic Snake whatever Filegot's play is, assuming he has a play, and then he can natural order the snake into Simic Sky Swallower on the following turn. But as we're going to see as it plays out, the trouble here is Kumagoro is a pretty low life total, and he's going to have to keep the Simic Sky Swallower back for most of the game, and he's getting into a position where he just cannot win the race against Filegot because of the Darkheart Sliver and the Essence Sliver that we'll see later. So Mystic Snake comes down to counter Frenetic Sliver, which is a riff on Frenetic Efreet from Mirage, which gave the creature phasing. Unfortunately, this one is worded slightly differently so that it doesn't give you the combo of Chance Encounter that Frenetic Efreet does. Mystic Snake goes ahead and beats in, taking the risk that it might have gotten Swords or something there. And then he's going to go ahead and natural order right here and fetch his Sky Swallower. So Filegot no longer safe to just poke in here, but we are going to see, I don't know if it's this turn, he has a Sliver Legion. Yes, he does. Sliver Legion basically coat of arms all your slivers. They all get +1/+1 for each other sliver on the battlefield. And the Aether mutation here, in order to prevent Kuma from getting all of those tokens, he goes ahead and just sacks the Sliver Legion off to gain 3 life to his Darkheart Sliver. So Filegot now very fortunate draw here. He gets the Winged Sliver to give all of his slivers flying. And Kuma rips a Growth Chamber. Now, the good thing about all of those dual lands over on Filegot's side is at least the River Boa is going to be able to get through. And the Sylvan Library is going to come down. See if Kuma can find a way to get ahead. He's not going to be able to afford to pay life, unfortunately, but with some shuffle effects or something like that, the Sylvan Library might be able to do some work. And Kuma does have a couple, but unfortunately that thing is going to get abrupt decayed right away. And the River Boa regenerates for some reason. Colony Garden now going to make a little chump blocker there, except for the fact that Winged Sliver has basically rendered all that mute unless Kumagoro can deal with that. River Boa can beat in though. But he's got a lot of work to do to take Falgot's life total down. And remember that with that Dark Heart Sliver on the board, Falgot has a lot more life, virtually speaking, than you think. And now the Kashi Tribe Reaper comes down. That's one of those that we were talking about in the deck tech that was sort of more of a limited player. It taps the opponent's creature and won't let it untap the following turn if the Reaver does combat damage to it. That actually is not bad in this board stall situation here. So both of those guys are going to come in. Terminate's going to take out that River Boa. The can't be regenerated clause being relevant for once. And Falgot goes down to 13, choosing not to block the Kashi Tribe Reaver. And an Ophidian comes down, but the Ophidian not going to have any kind of chance to beat in. And here's an Essence Sliver. Again, this gives all of your slivers old lifelink, like Exalted Angel had. It's the triggered ability lifelink, so it goes on the stack, so you don't gain it simultaneously with the combat damage, which can screw people up who aren't used to the old rule or forget because they've been playing with the new rule for quite a while. But that one is going to get bounced. Because again, Kuma correctly noting that that he cannot possibly beat, or he cannot win the race with that thing down, but he's got to have an answer to that thing pretty quick. So Falgot redeploys the Essence Sliver. And Kumagoro is going to draw a pretty pointless Oran Reef the Vastwood there, unfortunately. And the 5-color slivers are going to, they're in a pretty dominant position at this point. Hard to see how they lose despite that Sky Swallower. And the Necrotic Sliver is going to come down here. And Falgot's big strike in here. Kuma sees the writing is on the wall on account of the pseudo lifelink, and so that is going to be all she wrote. So anyways, very interesting deck from Kumagoro. Highlights all the various different aspects of the snake deck, and it was a joy to take a look at it in the deck tech, and I hope you enjoyed watching the replays, and I will see you next week.